Alex had always thought life in the city was unpredictable, but nothing could have prepared him for Kyrix. The alien arrived on Earth with a suitcase that looked more like a glowing cube than anything humans would consider luggage. Their dorm room was small, cluttered with textbooks, snacks, and the faint smell of something that smelled vaguely metallic. Alex had been warned by the university's exchange program that aliens could be unusual, but the first few hours with Kyrix were beyond anything he imagined. Kyrix was tall, lean, and covered in smooth, silvery skin that shimmered faintly under the room's fluorescent light. Their eyes were larger than human eyes, a deep violet, and they blinked with a slow, deliberate rhythm that made Alex feel as if Kyrix was studying not just him, but the very air around him. Despite the alien's intimidating appearance, their voice was soft, melodic, and somehow comforting. "So this is what humans call farming?" Kyrix asked, pointing at the tiny pots of soil Alex kept on the windowsill. He had been trying to grow tomatoes as a hobby, something simple to distract from the chaos of exams and student life. "Yes," Alex said, smiling nervously. "Well, technically it's gardening, but close enough." He noticed Kyrix tilting, their expression a mix of curiosity and confusion. "I find the process inefficient," Kyrix said. "In my homeworld we use life matrices to accelerate growth. Seeds and soil are primitive." Alex laughed. "Primitive works fine for me. Less chance of things exploding." Kyrix frowned as if Alex's casual words made no sense. "Exploding?" Alex shrugged. Never mind. He decided to let it go. Trying to explain human humor to an alien seemed like a bad idea. That night, Alex's curiosity got the better of him. He pulled out his phone and recorded a short video of Kyrix attempting to plant one of the tomato seeds. The alien's hands moved in strange patterns, not like humans at all. They traced precise, circular motions above the soil, murmuring softly in their own language. When they finally dropped the seed, it hovered for a moment before landing perfectly in the soil, as if obeying some invisible command. Alex chuckled and whispered, "This is gold." He quickly added a caption. "Watch before deleted. My alien. Roommate tries human breeding for the first time." He thought it was a harmless joke, a silly exaggeration that would amuse his friends. Humans use the term breeding loosely, and the video was meant to be funny. The next morning, Alex woke up to a storm of notifications. His phone vibrated endlessly. Likes, comments, shares. It was going viral. People were tagging him from around the city, calling him a genius, a madman, and a hero all at once. "What happened?" Kyrix asked, stepping over the scattered clothes on the floor. Their eyes glowed faintly in the morning light, betraying confusion. You're famous," Alex said, pointing at his phone. "Well, I mean, we're famous." Kyrix took the phone, swiping through the comments. The alien's expression darkened. "These humans, they interpret my actions as something more intimate than gardening?" Alex frowned. Not exactly. It's just a joke." Kyrix looked horrified. "A joke?" They repeated the word slowly, like tasting it for the first time. "On my homeworld, jokes about breeding can summon attention from entire planetary councils. Entire species can respond to such claims." Alex froze. "Wait, what do you mean?" Before Kyrix could explain further, another notification appeared, a message in an unfamiliar language glowing on Alex's screen. Kyrix's eyes widened in shock. They tapped the screen carefully, reading the message, and then looked at Alex. They have seen the video," Kyrix said slowly. "They think humans are experimenting, trying new life forms. They are coming." Alex's stomach sank. "Coming? Who?" "Authorities from my world," Kyrix said. "They may arrive soon. This video, it is not just a joke to them. It is a declaration." Alex stared at the phone, trying to comprehend the situation. A simple dorm room joke had apparently become a potential interstellar incident. The tomato seed Kyrix planted that night suddenly felt like a ticking time bomb in the quiet room. "Okay, Alex said finally, trying to calm himself. So, let me get this straight. We planted some tomatoes, made a silly video, and now the galaxy might attack us. Kirix tilted their head. Attack might be an understatement. Alex ran a hand through his hair, laughing nervously. Of course, why wouldn't it be? That makes perfect sense. Kirix gave a small, almost imperceptible sigh. Humans are unpredictable. Yes, Alex said, leaning back in his chair, and apparently dangerously clever. As the two sat in silence, watching the tiny tomato plants sway in the morning light, Alex realized that his ordinary life as a student had just become extraordinary. He didn't know whether to laugh or panic, but one thing was certain. The galaxy was now paying attention, and he and Kirix were at the center of it. The next morning, Alex woke to a sound that didn't belong to Earth. It was a soft, rhythmic humming that vibrated through the dorm walls. He rubbed his eyes and looked around. Kirix was already standing by the window, their violet eyes reflecting the first light of dawn. Outside, a strange shimmer rippled across the sky like heat waves dancing on a desert road. But it wasn't heat. It was a spaceship. It has arrived, Kirix said quietly. Alex blinked. Arrived? Already? Yes, Kirix replied. They do not wait for explanations. On my world, signals like this are treated as urgent. Entire planetary councils can respond within hours. It seems your video escalated faster than I expected. Alex swallowed. Hard. He had only meant to make a funny video about Kirix's tomato planting, not start a cosmic crisis. So, what do they want? They want to understand, Kirix said, or to punish. Alex looked at the tomato pot. The small green sprout seemed innocent, but now it felt like a declaration of war. How do you explain a tomato to a species that thinks we're doing what they think we're doing? Kirix shook their head slowly. Carefully. Very carefully. Before Alex could respond, the doorbell rang. They both froze. Alex peeked through the peephole and saw a figure that didn't look human. Tall, slender, with translucent skin and limbs that bent in angles humans couldn't imagine. Their head glowed, faintly, pulsing with soft light, and their eyes were like mirrors reflecting everything they saw. Alex swallowed again. Oh, that's friendly, right? Kirix's skin shimmered nervously. Friendly is relative, but polite, mostly. The figure spoke in a language Alex didn't recognize, but Kirix quickly translated. We are here to observe the human responsible for the incident. Alex took a step back. Me? The incident is just a video, really? Kirix raised a hand. Please, let me explain. The alien observer stepped inside, floating slightly above the floor. Alex's stomach twisted. Okay, I promise I didn't do anything dangerous. It was just gardening and a joke video. That's it. The observer's mirrored eyes blinked. This form of life, plants, grow without controlled matrices. Your species manipulates biological growth without technology. This is unusual. Alex raised an eyebrow. Unusual is one word for it, I guess. Kirix glanced at him, a small smile tugging at their lips. They mean it as a compliment, in a way only aliens can. Alex sighed. Great. So now humans are the strange miracle of the galaxy because of tomatoes. Over the next hour, more messages arrived, holograms projecting across the room from Kirix's communication device. Delegates from various star systems were sending inquiries, warnings, and invitations. Some congratulated Alex on his species' primitive ingenuity, while others demanded that humans be studied immediately. Alex rubbed his temples. I just wanted to show my roommate planting a seed, and now we're famous across the galaxy. Why is this happening? Kirix explained carefully. Humans are unpredictable. On my world, life grows in controlled environments. Everything is measured, calculated, and efficient. You, however, grow life in chaos with nothing but care, patience, and instinct. That is remarkable. Dangerous, yes, but remarkable. Alex laughed nervously. So basically, I'm a threat because I can water a plant? In their eyes, Kirik said solemnly. Yes. Alex's thoughts raced. Okay. What do we do? I mean, do we apologize? Show them more plants, or do I just hide? Kirik shook their head. Hiding will not work. Humans have a quality. Something even advanced civilizations cannot replicate. You adapt, you survive, you improvise. This is why they are now interested in you. Not to destroy, but to study. And perhaps, to learn. Alex blinked. Learn from me? Yes, Kirik said. From you. From humans. The galaxy does not often encounter species that succeed without perfect control. That is, rare, fascinating, and dangerous. The day passed in a blur. Aliens from different star systems projected holographic forms, asking Alex questions about human life, growth, and survival. Some inquiries were simple, like how humans farmed food without machinery. Others were more complicated, how humans survived disasters, disease, and conflict using only ingenuity. Alex realized something strange. Despite the fear and chaos, he felt proud. Humans were messy, imperfect, and chaotic. But that chaos gave them strength. It wasn't just survival. It was creativity, adaptability, and the ability to thrive where logic might fail. By evening, the first delegation prepared to leave. Kirik translated their words. Your species is unique. We will report back. There may be further observation. You have potential. Alex watched the shimmering figures depart. He leaned against the wall, exhausted, overwhelmed, but strangely exhilarated. Potential, huh? Kirik placed a hand on his shoulder. Yes, potential. The galaxy has noticed humans, and you started the chain. Alex stared at the small tomato sprout on the windowsill. Who would have thought that a simple plant could make humans the center of galactic attention? He laughed softly. Guess we're a bigger deal than I thought. Kirik smiled faintly. Yes, but this is only the beginning. Alex's eyes widened. The beginning? Oh no. That can't be good. Kirik simply nodded. You will see. The universe pays attention to humans now. The next morning, Alex woke to the hum of his phone vibrating constantly. Holographic messages blinked across the screen like tiny stars in a night sky, each one more urgent than the last. Kirik hovered beside him, eyes wide with concern, their usually calm voice tinged with tension. They are coming, the alien said. More delegations, from more systems. They wish to verify human actions. Personally. Alex groaned, rubbing his eyes. You mean they're sending people? Not just holograms? I was hoping this was a one-time thing. Kirik shook their head slowly. On my world, verification is physical. Observation from afar is considered incomplete. They will arrive soon. By mid-morning, the dorm hallway was filled with strange, quiet noises. Outside, shapes floated just beyond the windows, ships with glimmering hulls and angles that defied human engineering. Alex's heart pounded. Okay, I admit it. I didn't think a tomato video would this. Kirik, oddly calm, placed a hand on his shoulder. Humans underestimate their uniqueness. That is, why they are noticed. Before Alex could respond, the door to their dorm room slid open with a soft hiss. 3 figures entered. Unlike the previous visitor, these beings were more angular, with translucent limbs and bioluminescent markings across their bodies. Their mirrored eyes reflected every detail of the small room, scanning books, clothes, and even the tiny tomato pot. We come for verification, one said, its voice like wind chimes in a storm. Kirik translated quickly. They wish to ensure the species is capable of the life processes observed in your video. Alex blinked. You mean, they don't believe it's just gardening? Kirix shook their head. They interpret it as experimentation with life forms. To them, the casual growth of food without controlled matrices is alarming. Alex swallowed. So we need to prove, what exactly? That humans can grow tomatoes. Yes, Kirix said. And more. That you do not manipulate life recklessly. They wish to see the process firsthand. Alex took a deep breath, glancing at the little green sprout. Well, I guess it's showtime. He led the visitors to the windowsill, demonstrating carefully how he watered the soil and showed the tiny sprout emerging. Kirix translated every movement and word. The aliens' mirrored eyes followed each action, their bioluminescent markings, pulsing rhythmically. Observe the natural growth, Kirix explained. No matrices, no artificial acceleration, only care and patience. The tallest alien bent its angular head, reflecting the green of the sprout. Interesting, it murmured. Primitive yet effective. Life, nurtured by instinct. Alex smiled nervously. Yeah, that's us. We like to keep it simple. One alien tilted its mirrored surface, catching Alex's reflection. This species, unpredictable. The growth is neither instantaneous nor calculated, yet life survives, thrives. Alex laughed softly. I guess humans are weird like that. Suddenly, the smallest alien floated closer to the sprout. What if this growth were scaled? Could the species feed many, sustain life across territories? Alex thought for a moment. Well, yeah, that's the point of farming. You plant, you nurture, you harvest, it feeds people. That's kind of our specialty. The alien observers exchanged pulses of light. Kirix's translation was quick. They are impressed. Your methods rely on care, observation, and patience rather than technology. To them, this is advanced in its own way. Alex leaned back, amazed. So, growing food without tech is considered advanced. That's weirdly flattering. Your species adapts, Kirix said. That is the point they notice. Humans survive, thrive, and manipulate environments without perfection. That is why you are observed. Hours passed as Alex showed them different aspects of human life. He explained basic routines, household systems, and how humans collaborated without formal structures or calculated matrices. The aliens listened, intently, eyes reflecting every detail. Some even asked to observe Alex performing ordinary tasks, pouring coffee, folding laundry, typing on a keyboard. Each act, simple for humans, seemed miraculous to them. By evening, the delegation finally withdrew. Kirix translated their message. This species is unique. Observations continue. We recommend further study. They are unpredictable and potentially valuable. Alex flopped onto his bed, exhausted. Unpredictable and valuable. I just made a video of you planting tomatoes. Kirix chuckled softly, a faint glimmer in their violet eyes. Yes, but that video showed something you do not realize. Humans succeed through ingenuity, through adaptability. That is rare in the galaxy. That is why they care. Alex stared at the tiny sprout on the windowsill, now glowing faintly in the evening light. He realized something strange. Humans weren't just surviving in a chaotic world, they were excelling. Not because of technology or weapons or perfect systems, but because of imagination, creativity, and resilience. So, Alex said finally, we've gone from a viral joke to a galactic observation experiment, and all it took was a tomato? Kirix nodded. A simple plant, a symbol of potential. The galaxy watches now. This is only the beginning. Alex groaned dramatically. Oh no, not the beginning. I just wanted a normal semester. Kirix's violet eyes glimmered faintly in amusement. Normal is relative. To the galaxy, nothing about humans is ordinary. Alex laughed despite himself. I guess that makes us special, huh? Yes, Kirix said. And humans will surprise them in ways they cannot predict. Alex, leaned back, staring at the alien delegation's lingering holograms fading from the room. He realized that ordinary human life, chaotic, messy, and creative, was already changing how the universe saw them. And for the first time, he felt something, like pride. Not for himself, not for the tomato, but for humanity. The day after the delegation left, Alex woke to a dorm room filled with an uneasy quiet. Kirix floated near the window, staring out at the glowing morning sky, the faint shimmer of alien ships still visible far above the city. "They are discussing humans now," Kirix said quietly, their voice carrying a weight Alex hadn't heard before. "Debates have started across several star systems." Alex blinked. "Debates? About us?" "Yes," Kirix said. "Your species' approach to life, growth, and survival has caused disagreement. Some claim humans are ingenious, adaptable, and potentially valuable. Others argue humans are unpredictable, reckless, and dangerous. They cannot agree." Alex rubbed his eyes. "So basically, I made a tomato video, and now the galaxy can't decide if we're brilliant or dangerous." "Great." Kirix tilted their head. "It is not just a video, it is evidence of human potential. That is why they are debating." Alex looked at the small sprout on the windowsill. "Potential? You mean our species could actually matter to aliens?" "Yes," Kirix replied. "And it is rare for them to debate a species at all. Most species are predictable. Humans are not." Later that day, Kirix showed Alex a series of holographic messages transmitted directly from alien scientists. Each projection displayed alien faces and forms, their mirrored eyes reflecting intricate patterns of light. The messages were heated, almost like arguing in a courtroom. One projection spoke first. "Humans manipulate life without controlled matrices. This is reckless. One small mistake could create catastrophic consequences across multiple planets." Another voice countered, softer but no less firm. "No, they succeed despite imperfection. Humans adapt, survive, and create solutions where others fail. This species is resourceful beyond measured intelligence." Alex leaned closer to the holograms, fascinated despite his worry. "So they're impressed with humans, but also scared?" Kirix nodded. "Yes, they cannot predict how humans succeed. That makes your species valuable, and potentially dangerous." As the discussion continued, Alex realized that the aliens were not just talking about farming or gardening. They were debating humans' entire approach to life, how humans worked together, solved problems, and survived disasters. Ordinary human behaviors, like helping neighbors or improvising solutions, were being interpreted as strategic brilliance by alien standards. Alex laughed softly. "I guess our messy, chaotic way of living actually makes us special." Kirix's violet eyes glimmered. "Indeed. The galaxy often overlooks species that cannot control everything. But humans thrive without perfect systems. That is unique." Hours passed. The holographic debates showed alien scientists projecting scenarios, how humans might handle interstellar trade, disease outbreaks, or natural disasters. Some feared humans would create unintended chaos. Others argued humans could be allies, innovators, or even leaders in ways no other species could. Alex leaned against the wall, overwhelmed. "So our entire species is basically on trial for being good at surviving?" Kirix smiled faintly. "It is more than surviving. Humans innovate. They find solutions that logic cannot predict. They are resilient, adaptable, and creative. That is why you are observed." Alex looked out the window at the tiny tomato sprout again. Who would have thought that a plant, a small dorm experiment, could trigger galactic debate about the fate and nature of humanity? By evening, Kirix translated a final message from one of the more cautious delegations. "We recommend observation continues. Humans' methods are strange but effective. They succeed where controlled systems might fail. This is remarkable." Alex let out a long breath, half laughter, half disbelief. "So humans are remarkable because we do things badly and somehow make them work?" "Yes," Kirix said with a faint smile. You adapt. You survive. You thrive. That is rare in the galaxy. Alex leaned back in his chair, finally beginning to feel a sense of pride. His species wasn't the strongest, fastest, or most technologically advanced. But humans had something the aliens could not predict. Creativity born from imperfection, survival through ingenuity, and resilience through improvisation. So, Alex said softly, we went from viral joke to interstellar case study, just by being ourselves. Kirix nodded. Exactly. Humans are now noticed. You will be studied, observed, and perhaps even admired. The galaxy sees potential in your species. Not because of power, but because of ingenuity. Alex smiled at the tiny sprout, which now seemed more like a symbol than a plant. I never thought I'd be proud of a tomato, but maybe it's not just a tomato. Maybe it's us. Messy, stubborn, unpredictable, but capable of amazing things. Kirix tilted their head. Humans will surprise the galaxy. Many will underestimate you, that is why you will succeed. Alex laughed quietly, shaking his head. I guess being unpredictable isn't always bad. No, Kirix said. Sometimes it is your greatest strength. And for the first time, Alex realized that humans were not just ordinary. Their chaotic, messy, creative ways were exactly what made them special in the universe. The debate across star systems wasn't a warning, it was recognition. And Alex, watching a tiny sprout glow faintly in the evening sun, finally understood that human ingenuity could shine anywhere, even across the stars. A few days later, Alex woke to the quiet hum of Kirix's communication device. Unlike the gentle glows from before, the signals now pulsed urgently, almost like a warning. Kirix hovered near the window, their violet eyes reflecting worry. Alex, there is a problem, the alien said. Not all factions agree humans are safe or valuable. Some believe your species is a potential threat. Alex groaned, running a hand through his hair. A threat? Really? From a tomato video? Kirix tilted their head. Not the video alone. It is the implications. Humans adapt, improvise, survive, and innovate. Some species see unpredictability as dangerous. They fear what humans might accomplish. Before Alex could respond, holographic projections filled the room. This time, the images were not polite or neutral. They were strategic, angular, and severe. The leaders of a rival alien faction spoke in synchronized voices. This species manipulates life in ways we cannot predict. They grow, adapt, and thrive without controlled matrices. If left unchecked, humans could destabilize regions of the galaxy. Immediate monitoring or containment is advised. Alex leaned back in his chair, stunned. Containment? Like quarantine humans? Kirix's skin shimmered nervously. Perhaps. They do not understand humans yet. They fear the unknown, and humans are very unknown to them. Alex looked out the window at the tiny sprout, still glowing faintly in the morning light. So my dorm plant is basically starting an interstellar panic. Kirix gave a small, almost sympathetic smile. Yes, but it is not the plant. It is what the plant represents. Human ingenuity, adaptability, and resilience. That is what makes human unpredictable. As the day progressed, Alex and Kirix monitored the influx of communications. Messages arrived from every corner of the galaxy, some congratulating humanity, some warning of danger, and some demanding observation missions. Certain alien species were mobilizing ships, ready to arrive at Earth to assess humans for themselves. Alex groaned. I just wanted a normal semester. Now aliens are sending fleets. Kirix hovered near the holographic display, translating the incoming data. They will not act immediately. They are curious. They wish to understand first. But curiosity is paired with caution, and caution can turn to aggression if humans appear reckless. Alex ran a hand over his face. So we need to prove we're not reckless. Again? Yes, Kirix said. And this time it is bigger. They are comparing your species to known interstellar threats. They debate whether humans are allies, Or hazards? Alex looked at Kirix with wide eyes. Allies or hazard from a tomato? It is not the tomato, Kirix said firmly. It is the principle. You do not rely on perfect systems. You succeed without full control. That is remarkable and frightening. By evening, Alex realized the stakes. Kirix guided him through holograms showing alien fleets preparing for observation missions. Some ships were enormous, the size of small moons, capable of mapping entire continents in hours. Others were smaller, agile, and clearly intended for close study. Alex, Kirix said quietly, this is why humans are noticed. Not for technology, not for weapons, but for creativity, resilience, and adaptability. These qualities are rare across the galaxy. Alex took a deep breath, staring at the tomato sprout. He felt a mix of fear and pride. So humans are scary. Because we actually know how to survive? Yes, Kirix said. You thrive without control. You succeed without perfection. That is your strength. And that is why some species fear you. As night fell, the dorm room glowed with soft lights from the monitoring device. Alex lay back on his bed, thinking about the absurdity of it all. A viral joke video, a tiny plant, and now a debate spanning star systems about human potential and danger. I guess humans aren't ordinary, Alex said softly. We're unpredictable. And apparently that's enough to get the galaxy's attention. Kirix hovered closer, their presence calm but serious. Indeed, your species surprises others. Some will try to control humans. Others will try to learn from you, but all will watch. And humans will continue to find solutions where others fail. Alex smiled faintly, thinking of the first time he recorded Kirix planting a tomato. What had seemed like a small silly moment had turned into proof of humanity's ingenuity. I never thought a tomato could do all this, he murmured. It is not just a tomato, Kirix said. It is life, and humans understand life in ways others do not. That is your gift, and your danger. Alex nodded slowly, finally understanding the weight of the situation. Humans were not the fastest, the strongest, or the most advanced in technology. But their ability to adapt, survive, and create solutions in the most chaotic circumstances set them apart. That unpredictability had caught the attention of an entire galaxy, and now rival factions were watching carefully. Looks like we'll need to keep proving ourselves, Alex said quietly. Yes, Kirix said, and humans are very good at proving what others cannot predict. That is why your species has potential. Alex looked at the small sprout glowing softly in the night, a symbol of his species' ingenuity. For the first time, he felt a quiet confidence. Humans might be messy, chaotic, and imperfect, but that very imperfection was a strength, and now the galaxy would have to reckon with it. The following morning, Alex woke to a room buzzing with activity. Kirix hovered by the window, translating incoming communications from alien factions that had now become more urgent. The galaxy had split into two camps, one curious and admiring of humans' adaptability, the other wary and fearful of potential chaos. Alex ran a hand through his hair. So, now we're in a galactic debate about whether humans are dangerous geniuses or harmless farmers? Yes, Kirix replied. And the factions are moving closer to taking action. Some wish to restrict humanity. Others wish to observe more closely. Your species' reputation is at stake. Alex groaned. All this over a tomato video. I think my brain just broke. Kirix tilted their head. It is not the tomato. It is what the tomato represents: human life, ingenuity, and unpredictability. They cannot ignore it. Alex sighed, pacing the small dorm room. So what do we do? Hide? Apologize? Kirix's violet eyes glimmered. Humans do not hide. Humans do not apologize for being themselves. Humans solve problems. That is why you are unique. Alex nodded slowly. Okay, problem solving. That sounds better than hiding. But how do I solve a problem that's galaxy-wide? Kirix floated closer. You demonstrate. Show them why humans succeed without control. Show them why unpredictability can be strength. Alex frowned. Show them how. Kirix gestured toward the small sprout on the windowsill. Start small. Demonstrate life, growth, care. Humans excel at nurturing. That is what alien factions do not understand. Alex thought for a moment. Then an idea formed. He pulled out his phone and started preparing a live demonstration, streaming to multiple alien observers. Kirix translated every word and action, ensuring clarity. Alex showed them how he watered the plant, adjusted light exposure, and nurtured the tiny sprout. Each step was slow, careful, and deliberate. The alien observers watched intently. Their mirrored eyes reflected the tiny green sprout, pulsating with faint light as they processed the humans' methods. One of the skeptical factions communicated hesitantly through Kirix. Life survives without matrices? Yes, Kirix translated. Humans succeed without technology controlling every step. They nurture, observe, and adapt. Life grows through care, patience, and ingenuity. Alex smiled nervously. That's it. That's what humans do. We don't always control everything, but we find ways to make it work. Hours passed as Alex demonstrated additional aspects of human life. He showed basic cooking, problem-solving, in small household tasks, and even creative improvisation, like turning broken furniture into storage. Every act was ordinary for humans, yet to the alien observers it seemed miraculous. One alien asked, through Kirix, "How does your species sustain itself in the absence of perfect systems?" Alex paused. "Well, we make do. We experiment. We fail sometimes, but we keep going, and often we figure out something better than what we started with." Kirix nodded. "This is why humans are noticed. You thrive through adaptability. You succeed through creativity. That is rare in the galaxy." The skeptical factions began sending slower, more contemplative messages. Their mirrored eyes reflected thoughtfulness. Perhaps unpredictability is not weakness. Perhaps it is strength. Alex chuckled. "Told you. Humans aren't just lucky. We're stubborn and clever." By evening, the first real signs of change appeared. Messages from the previously cautious factions shifted in tone. They expressed admiration for humans' ability to succeed without perfect control. Some even asked to study humans further, not to restrict them but to learn from them. Kirix translated one particularly thoughtful message. "Your species demonstrates that success does not always require perfection, that resilience and creativity can surpass controlled logic. Humans may teach others how to survive in unpredictable conditions." Alex leaned back in his chair, exhausted but relieved. "So, we saved ourselves by doing normal human things?" "Yes," Kirix said, hovering near the glowing sprout. "Your species' everyday ingenuity impressed them. They now see humans not as threats, but as valuable examples of creativity and resilience." Alex smiled, looking at the tiny plant that had started all of this. "I never thought a tomato could represent all of humanity, but maybe it does. We adapt, we survive, we make life work, and apparently, the galaxy notices." Kirix tilted their head, a faint glimmer in their violet eyes. "Yes, humans are now respected. Some still fear unpredictability, but they also recognize potential. The galaxy has learned something important about your species." Alex laughed, softly. "I guess humans are more than we think. Messy, stubborn, unpredictable, but capable of amazing things." "Yes," Kirix said, "and that is why humans will continue to surprise the universe." As night fell, the dorm room was quiet again. The alien fleets that had seemed threatening were now observing cautiously, curious instead of hostile. Alex felt a strange mix of pride and relief. He realized that humans didn't need advanced machines, perfect systems, or rigid control to shine. They just needed ingenuity, patience, and the willingness to persevere. "And that," Alex murmured, looking at the glowing tomato sprout, "is how humans win, one small step, one creative solution at a time. Kirix floated closer and placed a hand on his shoulder. And humans will continue to show the galaxy that true strength is not always in power or technology, but in adaptability, resilience, and imagination. Alex nodded slowly, finally understanding. Humanity's messy, imperfect ways were not weaknesses, they were gifts, and the galaxy was beginning to see it. The following morning, Alex awoke to an unusual calm. Kirix floated near the window, their violet eyes reflecting the soft light of Earth's rising sun. The alien's usual nervous energy was replaced by a quiet confidence. Alex, the galaxy has reached a consensus, Kirix said. Your species is recognized. Alex blinked. Recognized? You mean humans survived the tomato crisis? Kirix tilted their head. More than survived. Humans impressed the galaxy. Your species demonstrated resilience, creativity, and ingenuity in ways other civilizations cannot replicate. The factions that feared humans now respect them. Alex laughed softly, shaking his head. All this? From a video of you planting a tomato? Yes, Kirix said, a faint smile tugging at their lips. It was the spark. But humans themselves proved their worth. Holographic projections appeared across the room, showing alien delegates from multiple star systems. They communicated, simultaneously through Kirix's device, their voices harmonized in a rhythm that sounded almost musical. Humans have demonstrated the power of adaptability, one said. Their success is not based on technology, nor on perfect control, but on creativity and persistence. They are to be studied with respect. Another projection added, humans survive in unpredictable conditions where others fail. Their ingenuity is remarkable. They are not to be underestimated. Alex leaned back on his bed, overwhelmed. The galaxy, once poised to see humans as threats, was now recognizing them as a species worthy of admiration. He thought of his small dorm room, the tiny tomato sprout glowing faintly in the sunlight, and the viral video that had started it all. Kirix floated closer, their hand brushing lightly against Alex's shoulder. Your species will now be observed as an example of resilience. Humans adapt, create, and thrive. That is, rare across the stars. Alex smiled, feeling a swell of pride. So, humans are special? Yes, Kirix said firmly. Not because of power, not because of weapons or advanced machinery. Because of imagination, persistence, and the ability to succeed without full control. That is your gift. Alex thought about the long week they had endured, the alien delegations, the debates, the misunderstandings, the fear of containment. Somehow all that chaos had led to this moment. It's kind of amazing, he said quietly. All of humanity, recognized for just being human. Kirix nodded. Yes, and humans will continue to surprise the galaxy. Your species thrives where others fail. You succeed where logic cannot predict. That is why the galaxy now watches with curiosity, not fear. Alex looked out the window at the faint shimmer of alien ships still hovering high above. They were no longer threatening. They were observers learning from humans. He laughed softly. I guess it really is true. Humans do things differently, and that's why we matter. Kirix's violet eyes glimmered. Different is strength. Humans are not controlled by perfection. Humans improvise. Humans adapt. That is remarkable. Alex leaned back, reflecting on everything that had happened. A simple dorm experiment, a joke video, and a tiny plant had caused alien civilizations across the galaxy to reconsider the value of humanity. And yet he realized it wasn't just the tomato, it was humans themselves. Our creativity, our messiness, our unpredictability. That's what got their attention, Alex said. Not the joke, not the plant, but us. Yes, Kirix said softly. Humans are exceptional. You survive through ingenuity. You thrive through adaptation. And you inspire respect, even from the most advanced civilizations. Alex laughed quietly, shaking his head. I guess we really are something, huh? You are, Kirik said, and the galaxy now knows it. As the sun rose higher, Alex and Kirik sat by the window, watching the alien ship slowly fade from view. No threats, no warnings, only quiet observation. Humans had proven themselves, not through force, not through power, but through the simple acts of care, patience, and creativity. Alex glanced at the tomato sprout, its tiny green leaves stretching toward the light. Funny, he murmured. A plant started all of this. Kirik nodded. Small beginnings often lead to great recognition. Humans understand life in ways others cannot. That is why the galaxy respects you. Alex smiled, feeling a quiet warmth in his chest. Maybe that's the lesson. Humans don't need to control everything. We just need to try, adapt, and keep going. Yes, Kirik said, their voice gentle. And that is exactly what makes you special. That is why humans will continue to surprise the universe. Alex leaned back, finally allowing himself to relax. The chaos, the fear, the endless debate, it had all led to this moment. Humans were no longer just a small, unpredictable species on an isolated planet. They were recognized across the stars, respected for their ingenuity and resilience. And, in that moment, Alex realized something profound. Humanity's true power was not in technology, weapons, or domination. It was in the human spirit itself. In curiosity, creativity, and the stubborn will to survive. And the galaxy would never forget it.